Here's the detailed 4-week plan the U.S. has mapped out for its war strategy against Iran, broken down week by week. The campaign kicks off in week 1 with a decisive strike from US Navy destroyers, launching Tomahawk cruise missiles from hundreds of miles away. These missiles are designed to blind and crush Iran's anti-air defense systems entirely, targeting critical radar and infrastructure to pave the way for future assaults. Moving into week 2, the focus shifts sharply to the Iranian naval forces. The U.S. aims to neutralize the entire Iranian naval fleet. However, this proves challenging as the Iranian Navy puts up a fierce resistance, counterattacking by launching surface-to-air missiles and anti-ship missiles targeting US fighter jets. Despite this pushback, the U.S. maintains its offensive momentum. By week 3, the contest for air superiority sees the skies still heavily contested, but gradually clearing. At this stage, the U.S. brings in its heavy hitters, B-2 stealth bombers. These formidable aircraft strike high-value targets hidden deep within underground bunkers and fortified sites, significantly degrading Iran's military capabilities. Finally, in week 4, the campaign winds down with a targeted sweep to eliminate any remaining threats. Advanced stealth fighters, including the F-22 Raptors and F-35s, are deployed to seek out and destroy any ballistic missiles that Iran may still have, aiming to ensure that none can be launched in retaliation. Reflecting on how the first week unfolded, the strategy was clear and twofold. Initially, there was a leadership decapitation mission. Precision strikes specifically targeted Iran's highest leadership, successfully hitting the compound of Supreme Leader Ali Khamenei and severely disrupting the Islamic Revolutionary Guard Corps, ORGC, chain of command. During that week, the U.S. deployed its most potent weapons. Navy warships in the region launched hundreds of Tomahawk land attack missiles to blind Iranian radar systems and demolish heavily fortified infrastructure, all from a safe standoff distance. Simultaneously, the U.S. deployed the EA-18 Growler jets, which specialize not in dropping bombs, but in electronic warfare. These aircraft emitted powerful jamming signals that disabled Iran's Russian-made S-300 and indigenous Bavar 373 air defense systems. Effectively, Iranian radar screens were turned completely dark. This electronic blackout allowed fifth-generation aircraft, F-35 stealth jets and F-22 Raptors, to bypass early warning systems and clear the skies. Their success enabled fourth-generation fighters such as F-15 Strike Eagles to operate more freely. Following the destruction of Iran's anti-air defense, the U.S. Central Command brought in massive Cold War-era B-52 strategic bombers, flying directly over Iranian airspace to drop heavy payloads on military complexes and ORGC command centers. In total, over 1,700 to 2,000 Iranian targets were struck during that crucial first week, demonstrating overwhelming force. A particularly striking move in modern warfare involved turning the enemy's own weapon against them. For years, Iran's Shahed kamikaze drones caused significant havoc. After capturing one, the U.S. didn't just analyze it. They reverse-engineered and upgraded it with American technology. These enhanced, mass-produced expendable swarm drones were then launched back into Iranian airspace, delivering a devastating psychological and tactical blow. Looking ahead to week 2, the campaign intensifies to strip away Iran's ability to retaliate effectively. Early in this phase, the Iranian fast attack craft Jaskin approached a U.S. surface action group, signaling the ongoing contested nature of naval engagements in the region. This week's operations focus on dismantling Iran's naval capabilities and limiting their capacity for counterattacks, keeping strategic pressure relentless and unyielding throughout the month-long campaign. In the heat of the conflict, an Iranian insurgent group launched a U.S.-made Harpoon missile, a relic from arms sales before the revolution. The American cruiser USS Wright swiftly dodged the attack, deploying electronic countermeasures alongside shaft to confuse the missile. Without hesitation, the U.S. vessel struck back, sinking the attacker in what would be marked as the first ever missile duel between warships in history. Next on the scene was the Iranian frigate Sahand. This vessel boldly sailed out to challenge the U.S. fleet, firing on passing American aircraft. The U.S. response was swift and overwhelming. Attack jets, supported by the destroyer USS Joseph Strauss, swarmed the Sahand, relentlessly hammering it with missiles and heavy bombs. The frigate caught fire and eventually sank after an internal explosion triggered by its own munitions. Later that same afternoon, another Iranian ship, the Sabin frigate, made an attempt. It fired a surface-to-air missile at a U.S. jet, but the pilot skillfully evaded the missile and quickly looped back. He released a 500-pound laser-guided bomb that struck down the ship's exhaust stack. The resulting internal blast rendered the Sabin completely disabled. The overarching objective behind these naval engagements was to secure the Strait of Hormuz, arguably the most critical choke point for global oil transportation. As the conflict advanced to the third week, the U.S. launched a $2 billion stealth bomber strike aimed at crippling Iran's underground nuclear programs. These targets were no ordinary buildings. They were heavily fortified subterranean complexes buried deep beneath solid rock. The challenge was immense, because if the enemy delayed too long, they could relocate their vital nuclear enrichment materials into nearly impenetrable bunkers. To overcome this, the military deployed specialized deep penetration munitions, massive bunker busters engineered to slice through earth and detonate deep inside the mountains. This surgical yet devastating tactic was designed to collapse underground networks entirely, setting the nuclear program back by decades. By the fourth week, US forces had established full air superiority. The intense bombing campaigns halted, giving way to a relentless aerial hunt. A fleet of 22 Raptors and F-15s took control of Iranian airspace, maintaining continuous patrols supported by airborne refueling tankers. This operation was highly coordinated. Space Force satellites and Central Command tracked targets and relayed data directly to fighters, often guided by an E-2D Hawkeye command plane. The strategy was to avoid any ground occupation, instead controlling the battle space from the skies and striking instantly whenever a target revealed itself. Fighter pilots focused on hunting missile launchers concealed within underground facilities. To maintain constant pressure, MQ-9 Reaper drones patrolled the skies around the clock. The moment an enemy attempted to launch a ballistic missile, these Reapers were already overhead, poised to neutralize the threat with Hellfire missiles. Even beyond the battlefield, attacks involving spam emails, jump calls, and online breaches that target financial data can have far-reaching consequences. This stolen information doesn't just lead to nuisances like spam or scams. It can also impact things like your insurance rates, showing how interconnected security threats have become. Incog offers a powerful shield for your personal privacy by continuously scanning and preventing data brokers from reposting your sensitive information online. With a user-friendly, real-time dashboard, you can easily monitor the status of your data at any moment. If you opt for Incog's unlimited plan, you gain access to a custom removal tool designed to directly target websites that expose your information. Simply locate the link where your data is displayed, paste it into the custom removals tool, and hit submit. After about 30 to 45 days, your data will be taken down. It's that straightforward. Take control of your personal information with Incog today. Use the promo code ITEL at ecoy.com, ITEL, to receive an impressive 60% discount on an annual subscription. Strategically, Iran maintains a formidable advantage thanks to the narrow geography of the Strait of Hormuz. This vital choke point allows them to launch devastating close-range attacks on the U.S. Navy fleet by lying in wait near anticipated carrier routes. Their Yatter-class submarines are capable of coordinated torpedo strikes designed to target critical sections of U.S. carriers, such as the hull and propulsion systems. A successful torpedo hit on an aircraft carrier could severely compromise its flight deck operations, drastically diminishing the Navy's ability to project air power in the region. On top of that, Iranian submarines can deploy underwater mines along essential sea lanes. These mines funnel U.S. warships into predetermined ambush spots where missile and drone strikes could immediately follow. But if Iran manages to cripple a U.S. Navy carrier, is the U.S. completely powerless to fight back? Absolutely not. Concentrating solely on the relatively slow-moving ships would be a critical error. The United States holds a secret weapon that operates independently of clear shipping lanes, the Air Force Global Strike Command. This elite force can deploy the trio of major strategic bombers anywhere on the globe within just 24 hours. First up is the B-2 Spirit stealth bomber, sometimes called the ultimate door kicker. This unique aircraft is the only one in history to take off from Missouri, fly non-stop to Iran, and penetrate the most advanced air defense networks undetected. It's capable of delivering massive bunker-busting bombs deep into underground facilities. Then there's the B-1B Lancer, affectionately nicknamed the Bone. This supersonic heavy hitter boasts the largest bomb payload among U.S. bombers. It can zip in at high speeds and low altitudes, unleashing barrages of cruise missiles and satellite-guided bombs to clear the way for follow-up operations. Finally, the B-52 Stratofortress might look old, but don't let appearances fool you. This flying missile platform can launch long-range cruise missiles from hundreds of miles away, well beyond the reach of Iranian air defenses. Here's how these assets work together in combat. The B-2 stealth bomber leads the initial assault by targeting high-value air defense installations, such as the notorious S-400 Triumph and other surface-to-air missile systems. Using its stealth capabilities, it disables these defenses, paving the path for the next phase. Next, the B-1B Lancer swoops in to deliver a crushing payload of cruise missiles and bombs, clearing remaining threats and preparing the battlefield for sustained operations. With air defenses neutralized, the B-52 can safely launch long-range missile strikes from a distance, maintaining pressure on Iranian forces without putting itself at risk. The Lancer bomber flies at extremely low altitudes, targeting and neutralizing older anti-aircraft guns and missile defenses. This crucial mission clears the path for conventional aircraft, such as the B-52 Stratofortress, allowing them to strike and destroy vital enemy infrastructure without facing heavy anti-air threats. This is precisely why both the stealthy B-2 Spirit bomber and conventional bombers are necessary in modern air warfare, especially since there are only 19 B-2 units currently in service. Now, turning our attention back to aircraft carriers, a compelling question arises. How does a single ship and its crew endure such an intense and continuous workload for a full 4 weeks? The truth is, they don't do it alone. Maintaining such a potent and persistent presence requires at least 2 aircraft carriers working in tandem, enabling them to rotate entire shifts seamlessly. This practice is what we call the battle rhythm. But why is this battle rhythm strategy so vital for a carrier strike group? Picture a floating city powered by nuclear fuel and home to 5,000 personnel. Without a well-organized system, it would descend into chaos. Simply put, battle rhythm serves as the steady heartbeat of the ship, aligning the admiral's strategic decisions with the crew's tireless efforts. This rhythm has 2 key components. The first is the operational pulse, which focuses on the aircraft. For 12 to 15 hours straight, the carrier runs a relentless operational cycle, launching and recovering jets every 60 to 90 minutes. It creates a deafening, non-stop assembly line of warfare. The second component is the command pulse. While the aircraft are airborne, commanders cycle through a precise schedule of intelligence briefings, targeting sessions and night orders. Thanks to this meticulous battle rhythm, what could be 24 hours of overwhelming chaos transforms into a sustainable and effective routine of war. Lose that rhythm, and you risk losing the entire fight.